Hey, welcome, and let's talk Tyler. You know what? Everyone out, and I'm serious, I'll be making some silly voices. But, wow, everything's going so great. You see who's put together here. And it's expanding and expanding. Why wouldn't it? It's the Expanded Gangster Universe, a.k.a. EGU. Incredible stuff. So I'm just going to go on. So I'm skipping back to Tyler, and I'm sorry I mispronounced his name, Tyler H. Hey, look, we have a special guest. Look, oh, it's the princess. Are you ready for your close-up, darling? Here we are, just outside Smallville. Okay, that's it. You'll hear her singing later on. Anyway, look at Tyler. You're among all these guys. The Peaky Blinders thing. Peaky Blinders? Spunky Dunkers? Winky, who's this? Winky Wankers? Shelby Mufflers? Colby Tufflers? Rinky Rangers? Prinky Prangers? Singy Sangers? Okay, I'll leave it open for you. Good girl. See, she's got to have a lookout on what's going on. See, it's cool. She's watching you. She's watching you. Tyler, you know what? I said before, okay, this is from my grandfather's chair, man. So cool. You know, I don't want to break your TV chops. You know, everyone cherishes your Superman role. Okay, that's what's going on. Seriously, but this is movie land. Here's the toughest part. You see what's going on. You see we got De Niro and Graham and all that stuff going on. Look, it shouldn't shake you at all, and I know it doesn't, because you were the kid in Perdition, okay? So you were movie before it was all this stuff. That's the tough part. So what I'm going to do in a silly way is just encourage you however you want to get there by looking at Thomas Shelby. Peaky Blinders, Thomas Shelby. Sorry, no spoilers, but spoilers. And I envision you meeting him, okay? I envision you meeting him. If I have my way all the way as director, I'm reaching out to Stephen Knight to say, let's get this done and put Michael Sullivan, Tyler, and Peaky Blinders, the movie, okay, and weave that in right away, and then we're on to good things, so we can work the rest out. That's what's going on. Okay, in order to do that, wow, man, Tyler, look at, dude, if you read through it, this is just book 2 out of 4 books, okay, that you go all the way through, which is why you see me filling up the cast levels, including Cotton Club and everything else. Really, this thing stretches across, it's epic, this stretches across decades. That's why we're picking you, well, I've picked you, okay, to keep on also with the storyline and the accuracy of what was there with using the original characters. Anyway, my 2 suggestions, when I had my over 350 kids, classes, one of the things I would do to have them change characters or to go through difficult lines is to go through all the lines as if they were in our territory, even if you're from Canada, in a proper British voice. Okay, so like in this case, I have them say New York, and the reason I'm doing this is for the intonation feeling in your jaws, in your throat, in your mouth, in your head, and in your chest. You see. We'll get into flowers on the voice later. We'll get into long, liquid, lovely vowels. Okay? What I'm doing is we need to get you up really hard, really quickly. Okay? Just as if you were training with weights. But here, New York Times best-selling author of Road to Perdition, Max Allan Collins. Okay, so like that, then consult with your coaches, because I don't want to mess up your game, but I have to mess up your game. Dude, you're the hard movie, dude. You're really the lead amongst all these guys. You got it? So that's what's going on. That's really what's going on. So in order to do that, I wanted to share some inspiration. What was the second thing? Again, you don't. The toughest part is you went from 6 weeks on the road with Michael Sullivan, who's still out there. Okay, blah, no spoilers there. Okay, that's all what's going on. But now, and gone off to war and been like a killer. Like, boy, I can't think of his name. Not Doyle. On Boardwalk Empire. I'm sorry, I can't think of his name. Anyway, so in getting into those lines, the Superman gig is freaking perfect, but we got to change that gig into the next perfect gig is the method 2, the Carrie 2 method 2. This is method, it's the non-method of method. So get into it fully, or get into that gestalt, the floating gestalt. It's all those chapters, the first 100 chapters of Write It Down. Okay, here we come. Yeah, I'm going to go, here's a little comedy. But do what you can to do it. Please send me samples so I see where you're going to. Look, I've got the content in there. The toughest part of this now, before we head fully further into production with lots of things, lots of moving parts, Tyler, is you, okay? So let's look at some of these lines here, and I'm going to read it in 2 voices. Maybe it's some inspiration. To put a little bit more gangster in. That's the whole thing. You ready?
Habit, tradition, mine. My father would have wanted me to. Hey, at least you had a father. So what if it comes with a little baggage? My father really believed he thought he could do something really bad. And then just a few words from a priest, wash it away. Who's to say it can't? Even when you know you're planning on committing that same sin again? Well, maybe it's one sin at a time. Maybe it's just a matter of bookkeeping. Finally, Michael looks at her and smiles. Not a bad smile. You ought to get it out and run it around the block more often. Forget this feeling guilty, Shinola. It's full of shit.
Now he's looking at the ceiling again.
I don't feel guilty. I haven't felt anything really for a long time. Do I make you happy? Do I make you happy? Do I make you fulfilled? Oh yeah. I think you're homesick. I think you've got a girl back home in Hicksville you're missing. Oh, not so much now. Listen, about the other night, Louie's not such a bad guy. The situation with the fence, it's serious. He meant no offense. I'm sure he didn't. Is that why you came back tonight, to make sure I wasn't offended? I like the way you sing. My Sherry Amore. And he kisses her tenderly. Peace, man. You guys rock. Come on, let's do this.